Beyond the Cemetery Whispering channel. Subscribe to my channel and I promise you won't fall asleep tonight.
Harry Potter. 5 good things Severus Snape did that weren't shown in the movies. From fanatical love to contempt or even hatred. You may feel differently about Severus Snape, but the character certainly hasn't left anyone indifferent. Joan Rowling managed to create a very ambiguous character, and Alan Rickman, who embodied the potionist on the screen, gave more depth to his image. However, the films, for obvious reasons, could not contain all the actions of Severus, showing him both good and bad sides. And something needs to be done about it urgently. Greetings, student subscribers and just free listeners of Oxenford Academy. Today I want to tell you about 5 things Severus Snape did that bring out the positive side of the character. They have no place in the movies. So some of you will definitely be surprised by these moments. Well, next time I'm going to tell you what terrible or disgusting things Severus did that were also left out of the movies. Enjoy the show. 1. The Invisible Protector. As Quirrell pointed out, the grim Snape gives the impression of a real villain, from whom no student would expect anything good. Except, of course, for the Slytherins, in whom he has a great admiration. And against the backdrop of such a colorful character, no one is sure to suspect poor stuttering Professor Quirrell. Which was only to his advantage. Snape talks up a broom. The first film included an episode with a rabid broom that almost threw Harry to the ground. This incident reinforced the belief of the characters and the audience that Snape wanted to get rid of Potter. However, in the finale of the picture, it was revealed that Severus, on the other hand, was trying to save the boy. Ironically, he was the only wizard at the stadium, who not only noticed in time that there was something wrong with Harry's broom, but was also able to help Gryffindor. Severus, by the way, never waited for gratitude. But despite this, he did not intend to stop there. Suspecting that the culprit might try again, Snape made sure to come to the boy's aid in time next time. "Stop fooling around," Wood suddenly yelled. "It's nonsense like that could cause us to lose the game. I'll have you know Snape is refereeing the game and he'll use any excuse to write penalty points in our score." Upon hearing this, George Weasley actually fell off his broom. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Yes. Snape suddenly decided to try on the role of judge. I don't think it's hard to guess that he only did it to get as close to Harry as possible. And despite the fears of the Gryffindors, Severus made not a single attempt to unfairly judge them during the entire match. Either Snape was really relentlessly watching Potter and didn't care much about Quidditch, or he just didn't have time, because the game didn't last 5 minutes. Harry found and caught the snitch very quickly. But anyway, Severus went to great lengths to protect one ungrateful boy from the threat. Was Snape trying to save me? Harry thought he was going mad. Of course, Quirrell confirmed coldly. Why do you think he decided to referee the next match? He was trying to stop me from doing it again. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. 2. A master of his craft. Severus Snape always wanted to teach defense against the dark arts. However, Dumbledore has denied him this request time and time again. But even though he was jealous and personally disliked by Remus Lupin, one of those who bullied him at school, well, almost, it was Severus who brewed the difficult-to-make wolf antidote for him all year long. Drink it right now, Lupin. Yes, of course. If you need more, come in, I've brewed a whole cauldron. Perhaps we should have some more tomorrow. Thank you very much, Severus. Not at all, Snape replied dryly, but Harry didn't like the look in his eyes. Cautiously, not smiling, Snape turned and walked out. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This is the same cure that Sirius mentions in the movie. It allows a werewolf to retain his mind even in wolf form, and makes the transformation virtually painless. The potion was only recently invented, it is incredibly difficult to prepare, and few wizards are even capable of doing it. Did you take your medicine today, Remus? However, Severus not only graciously agreed to help his colleague, but he also made sure that Lupin remembered to take the medicine on time, which was primarily intended to alleviate his suffering. Snape even took the time to personally bring the potion directly to Remus' office. Perhaps you are wondering how I knew you were here. The professor's eyes sparkled. I was just on my way to your office, Lupin. You forgot to take your potion last night, so I brought you your medicine. And then, much to my delight, lucky for me, of course, I saw a certain card on your desk. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Of course, it is possible that Snape was primarily concerned with the good of the students, and not Remus at all. But I could tell by the fact that, even 3 years later, Lupin still remembered the helper's help gratefully, that the favor had been very important to him. He and I had never been close friends. All that had happened between James, Sirius, and Severus had left too many bitter feelings. But I don't forget that the year I taught at Hogwarts, Severus made a wolf antidote for me every month. And he made it wonderfully. I wasn't in the usual misery of a full moon. Remus Lupin on Snape, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. 3. Guardian Angel. Severus has saved the Chosen One's life so many times, I'm afraid, that you could really call him a guardian angel. The emphasis in the 5th movie is on Snape being a member of the Order of the Phoenix. But he takes no active part in the affairs of the organization, except his presence at one of the meetings. Even the battle at the Mystery Hotel Severus skipped. Although it was to him that Harry told Harry that Voldemort captured the vagabond in the place where they are hidden. Ironically, however, Snape once again saved the boy and all his friends, for which he did not even have to leave the confines of Hogwarts. Severus was the one who conveyed Potter's words to the Order. Yes, in the presence of Umbridge, he pretended not to understand Harry. But when he left her office, he immediately took action. The veteran spy's acting was so convincing that even the Chosen One believed he had simply ignored his words. Vagabond? Umbridge exclaimed, glancing eagerly from Harry to Snape. What other tramp? And what's hidden in there? What's he talking about, Snape? Snape turned around. His face was impenetrable. Harry couldn't tell if he had guessed what it was about, but in the presence of Umbridge, he couldn't have been any clearer. I have no idea, Snape said coldly. If I want to hear the gibberish, I'll give you the chatterboxes for the silent ones, Potter. By the way, Crabbe, loosen your grip a little. If you strangle Dolgopus, there'll be endless paperwork. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. It was Snape who first guessed that from the Forbidden Forest Potter headed straight for the Mystery Division to save Sirius. And it was thanks to his cleverness that reinforcements from the Order were sent there in time to save the Chosen One and his comrades' lives. But even though the movie doesn't say it directly, viewers can still guess Severus' role. Also, I can't help but mention that Snape refused to give Umbridge the truth serum to interrogate Potter. And unlike in the movie, where all his supplies were probably really depleted, in the book he never gave Dolores the real serum, which means he lied right to her face. 4. Connoisseur of the Dark Arts. Severus had been into the dark arts since high school, eventually becoming a true professional in the field. He was the one who always came to the rescue when it came to deadly curses. For example, Snape was able to save Dumbledore by slowing the spread of the spell by locking it in the headmaster's hand. Moreover, it was he, not Madame Pomfrey, who prepared the potion that revived all the dazed in the Chamber of Secrets. And he saved a lot of lives with it. Because the potion was wanted by Zlatopus Locons, who, something tells me, would have been more likely to make some kind of poison than a cure. I'll make the potion, he insisted. I've had a lot of experience. I can make living mandrake water with my eyes closed. Excuse me, objected Snape coldly, but I think I was an expert on potions at school. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Snape also took care of Katie Bell, who almost died after accidentally touching a cursed necklace. Still in serious condition, though she may be said to have been lucky. Apparently, she only touched the necklace a little bit, the contact was on a very small area of skin, she had a tiny hole in her glove. If she had worn the necklace, or at least picked it up without the gloves, death would have occurred. Most likely instant death. Fortunately, Professor Snape had managed to stop the curse from spreading. Why him? Harry asked quickly. Why not Madame Pomfrey? Harry, Professor Snape knows a lot more about the dark arts than Madame Pomfrey does. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. 5. Strictly. Upon taking over as headmaster, Snape imposed strict rules at Hogwarts and reinstated some of the edicts enacted during Umbridge's time. Of course, this did not add to his popularity, nor did the two hired Death Eaters, Caro, who terrorized students and teachers and unashamedly punished the guilty with the Cruciatus. However, Snape was eager to protect the students, as we have discussed many times. And perhaps the clearest example of this, from those that didn't make it into the movies, is the punishment for Ginny, Neville, and Luna. The trio of friends once tried to steal the Sword of Gryffindor from the headmaster's office, but were caught red-handed. For such a serious misdemeanor, on the verge of a crime, they could have faced terrible punishment. However, Snape, contrary to expectation, did not hand them over to Caro, but sent them to Hagrid. I would venture to guess that the students took this punishment as an easy walk, which Severus simply could not have been unaware of. And with that decision, he literally saved Ginny, Neville, and Luna. Never mind. What punishment did Snape inflict on Ginny, Neville, and Luna? Harry asked demandingly. Professor Snape sent them to reformatory work in the Forbidden Forest, with that oaf Hagrid. Hagrid is not a nitwit. Hermione shrieked again, already shrill. Snape may have considered it punishment, Harry said softly, but Ginny, Neville and Luna are probably laughing heartily with Hagrid at it. The Forbidden Forest, no big deal, they've seen worse places than the Forbidden Forest. He was relieved because he had already made up all sorts of horrors, the least of which was the Cruciatus spell. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.